We are going to cut that. So Scott is not here with us tonight, so I did not think about this. If I play the music, then I cannot open it up and make sure that you guys see everything and hear everything. So welcome, happy Thursday. We are going to share it now so you guys can see it on the page, make sure everything looks right. I will be viewing the comments, so let me know if everything looks okay, all right? And it does sound good. All right, so normally Hank is here and he helps us with our sound and our music and everything, and I didn't even think if I play the music, then I can't share it and open it up for you guys. So I am Danielle Valentine. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have a very interesting topic, and I'm joined by, I actually just got to meet these ladies, so this is fun. So normally I have friends or friends of friends, but I've got to hear their story and kind of get to know them, and we are going to share a little bit about it. So tell me, who you are and what you currently are doing. We're talking about the arts tonight. Everything in general of, the art class in school to art therapy. So tell us a little bit about what your story is and what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Danielle, so much for having us here this evening. My name is Miriam Daniel, and I am currently working as an artist, and my background is in public education. I have offered art classes and retreats and workshops and continue to do that, and that continues to evolve, but art is a passion along with education for me.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Erica Tipton. I am an owner and artist of Little Van Gogh Art Studio. So it's mostly for kids.
Such a cute name, though. I didn't catch the name before, so I love that.
Little Van Gogh Art Studio, thank you. So I opened the studio a little over a year ago, and I opened it initially to get more art to kids. And then over the course of the first year, I had situations with the roof, and I felt like I wasn't able to target, I wanted to get art to kids more that can't get art. I felt like my studio was kind of representing kids that their parents already kind of was getting them involved in that kind of stuff, like if they could pay for it and stuff. So since my roof situation, I moved now. I'm in Barberton on Tuss across from the Barberton Theater over there.
Yes, I know exactly where that is.
And since I moved there, I was able to partner with them. So I'm going through a mentor program to hopefully expand a little bit and help the kids that don't really get it art in their everyday lives. So that's my main goal.
Great. So what our show is all about, kind of educating our audience and bringing some awareness that they may not know. So my daughter, Olivia, she is in theater now at Weather Vane, a local theater here that does amazing shows and really offers a lot of opportunity for her to do dance and more theater art. But she does have art at school. And I had thought, well, that's enough. You do the pictures, you learn how to paint, and that should be enough. And I was telling you guys this story before we went live about how that whole perspective changed. Olivia ended up in Children's Hospital. It's now been about 4.5 years. And we spent 21 days in the hospital. So a couple of those days were in the ICU, very scary time for our family. And a nurse came in and said, hey, we have art therapy downstairs. I'd like for your family to come. I thought, I'll send the kids. At that time, Carter was like 2, Olivia was like 7, and I'm like, they'll have fun. We actually jumped in as a family and did it, and I just felt like it was such a powerful, rewarding thing. I would have never expected that I could feel that way.
It's like a different way to communicate with
it is, and so that really opened my eyes. So really wanted to talk with our audience on the impact. Art isn't just drawing a picture or getting some paint out or finger painting. Like, it can be a mental healing in a sense. And you were kind of telling, can you share a little bit of what you shared at the beginning of kind of just mental health of it?
Absolutely. So there's lots of research going on right now about the impact that creating has on us, and especially on our brains, and how creating actually 20 minutes of creating in an adult brain will reduce your cortisol level, which I think is pretty powerful and potent and a great way to reduce anxiety and the stress of life as we know it.
Definitely. And life, let's face it, is full of stress and anxiety, and anything that's going to reduce that is amazing.
Yeah, whenever you experience like trauma or such, you have to put yourself in a safe place. Like an art is something that you do naturally. I mean, you put pen and paper in front of a toddler, the first thing they're going to do is scribble, draw. It's just a natural instinct that feels very safe inside. So and that's art.
Well, and now we've got those adult coloring books.
Yeah.
So they're bringing just kind of slowing down. It does make you slow down. I was in it was a women's group about a year ago, and at the very end, she passed out a piece of paper. And anybody who knows me, I'm very go, go, go. I don't slow down. It caused stress a little bit for me to sit down and color this. But once I got started, I was like, oh, I don't ever want this to end. So that was such a powerful.
You need to just pause for a minute.
Yeah, and actually have to be present in life and come. So you're not thinking of all that stress and the anxiety and all that. So you have some experience in actual schools. And so what does that look like? Do you think that they're getting it hard? Do you think they just view it as something extra to do?
I think it has, over the past couple decades, become much more an extra rather than an essential part of the educational process. And for me, that's really heartbreaking because I believe that the world is going to be changed through art. We're going to find a cure for cancer because people were creative and thought outside of the box and all those kinds of things.
Well, and that's a big thing too, thinking outside the box. Schools are focused on, don't jump all over me, guys. Let's pass this test. We have the state test. We have to do this. We have to do that.
You're in the box.
But we're not teaching them to get outside the box. And how are we going to solve problems that we've been working on for years and years if we're just trying the same things over and over?
So literally a definition of insanity.
Yeah, going over and over. Yes. So why do you think that the schools have done that? Like, why do you think they're trying to fit them in these boxes?
I think there's so much pressure on schools to perform on tests. And, life is so much more than tests. And it's so disappointing to me that has become the focus. I can tell you, I started teaching in the dark ages, like 1998. And
those are not the dark ages.
It was a very different, it was before No Child Left Behind. And there was much more of an emphasis on, can you be a good problem solver? Can you be empathetic toward your peers? Can you develop resilience and things like that the creative process just innately empowers us with? And a much greater emphasis on educating the whole person, so mind, body, and spirit. And that really is what creativity is. That beautiful amalgamation of all three parts of our humanity. And because of testing and needing to fit into this really small package that we've created for ourselves in education, we kind of ended up in this spot. And I'm waiting for the pendulum to swing, but I've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah. Can we talk about how, I had actually a discussion yesterday with a friend of mine. She had an art teacher in like 3rd grade that she had done something that art teacher told her was wrong. I think that's something that needs to kind of be addressed with art too, is you cannot critique yourself. Like when I do birthday parties, like our sipping paints or snacking paints, typically at least one person will look at mine and say, there's no way mine's gonna look like that. And I tell them, I'm like, good, because it's not supposed to look like mine. It's supposed to look like yours. It's supposed to be a process. And we put art in a box of, you have to make yours look like this or it's not art. But the beautiful thing with art is you're an artist if you say you are.
Yes. And that right there shows, you had talked about people's just mind and their soul. And what about the confidence of individuals these days? You look at an art project, if we're doing the same project, do a tree, mine's going to look very different than all of yours. We have been taught, though, oh, mine's not as good as hers. Oh, hers is more colorful. I'm already judging mine. Instead of looking at it going, this is me, and it's okay to be different.
Yeah, and hers looks great, and hers looks
I think that we are trying so hard to fit people in the box that we're not allowing children to the adults, even to adults, to say, I'm okay to be different.
Mhm.
It's okay that mine looks this way because it's mine, and being proud of that.
Yes.
And so I think I want to add confidence to the whole of the missing link that is now causing, I don't want to say epidemic, but just a
Yes.
whole
Well,
problem.
you have to think if you have like a parent sitting there like, and I've seen it, and it drives me crazy. Sometimes I want to ban the parents because
You're not allowed to be here.
Yes, I love to see them working with them. I love that. But when I've seen parents in the past, like, no, that's not how you do it, or no, like ask her to fix it. Like, what do you think that your child, when they're faced with a problem in the future, like they're gonna second guess themselves and
Exactly.
think they can't do it?
So we're
They
teaching
have
them the
to.
opposite
Yes,
of problem
it's a
thinking.
process. Art should be a process. It should not be a like cookie cutter.
Exactly. But we're taught, I think even, when we start taking our children to school in kindergarten, I remember that you walk on the silver line, walk right after the person in front of you. Everybody
Yes.
sit straight. Everybody do this.
Factory.
Have your it
producing
very
the
much.
same
And so
thing.
you're teaching them right off the bat to be like everyone else.
Mhm.
But then we're verbally telling them to not be like everyone else. And they're special, but we're not
And when
in
they do it, then
Yes.
they're looked at. That's not okay.
So do either of you have children that are in the arts or came up through arts or school? How did it look different for them?
So my son is relatively young, so he's 10, and he doesn't even know how lucky he is to grow up in a house with an artist.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And when his friends come over, they want to make art in my dining room with
Oh, I
me.
love
And
that.
he's like, oh, I do that all the time. Like, come play with me. So
Right.
that's been a beautiful gift to him, and exposure to many other artists, and just that everybody's unique and what they create is unique. And so he's experienced that with professional artists around him in his life. And
Yeah.
I think it's a huge
And
gift.
but you're giving that to him.
Yes.
What is the school offering?
So he is in a very fortunate situation because he is attending Spring Garden Waldorf School, and so there he
All
has
about art.
handwork and vocal music and violin and woodworking. So
So the Waldorf Schools, if you guys are not familiar, is all about creating and hands-on. And so our daughter got the advantage to get together 2 years of her life, and those 2 years, I as a parent even enjoyed it. I would drop her off, and they would have kite flying in the morning and coffee in the morning. It's such a different outlook, and it didn't work out for our family in the long run, but I miss it. I miss what she felt of herself, and I think that really did boost her soul. I want to say her soul. Like, it made her believe in herself in a different way because of some of the things they did. So currently, Olivia goes to Copley Schools, and so they are a public school, and the arts are continuing to be cut. So she now, being in middle school, can choose from band, choir, or art. So, let's talk a little bit about music. Music and art, visual art, are arts, but they're very different, and they do affect you in different ways. And so now the schools are making them choose between the two. And
at a really young age.
at a very young age.
Yeah, they don't even know what they want to do yet.
And I played the saxophone, so I'll be 34 next week. I played the saxophone for 8 years, and I got to play saxophone and be in art class. She now is telling me, Mom, I don't want to play my flute anymore because I want to do visual arts. And I'm like, that's not fair to choose both.
Yeah.
Because, what is your take on the musical aspect of it? Like, let's go different arts, and they're all needed to give that intertwined.
I think music is such a magical art in the aspect of you either can use it to create it and use it to heal, or you can listen to someone else's creation and use it to heal. I love music, especially if you just need to feel like you relate to someone or something.
Exactly.
And the beats in it, like they're something in your brain. I can't think off the top of my head, but it creates something in you. It's just the best. My kids and I, mostly my daughter, she's my loud one, go crazy with this music, and it just feels good.
And it's a way to connect with others. I feel like art is more of a private thing, just in my eyes. Your private. Music, if I play music, my little guy will come right down here. He is ready to dance with Mommy. He's ready to cook with me. It's my engagement.
It's with people.
Yes.
We lack that so much in the technology and stuff. Like, we need to connect with art.
Yeah. So what are you doing these days to show your passion in art and to teach children, and where are you taking that?
So right now I am just coming off of a great summer where I got to travel with my son for the entire summer, and so I'm creating art based on the Camino de Santiago, and I have a calendar that's out on Lulu right now, and have created a card deck and a variety of things like that, and I'm in the process of creating e-courses to support the creations that have come from that. And I haven't been teaching this fall, but I will be teaching from my home studio for adults and children.
More as private lessons?
Yes.
Okay.
Private small group lessons.
How did you get into all this stuff?
I quit my traditional public school teaching job, and this was what I jumped
Felt led to do. Yeah. And I think that's important because even in the schools, you even in the art, they cookie cutter need to do these lesson plans.
Yeah.
Doing it as private lessons, you find you get to kind of let them choose where they go with their story.
I just saw a family that I had taught their daughter, and she said, I hate that I don't get to choose what I make at school. I want to go back to art lessons.
Yeah.
So
When I do my birthday parties for kids, I have a basic birthday girl or boy. Usually girls. I feel like art usually girls.
It usually is. It seems like more of a.
No. But it's not. It's so. Why is it like that though? I wish I knew.
I think that it's become a gender. This is just my opinion. It's become a gender thing because boys are supposed to do sports.
Yeah.
And girls can do arts and be smart. Not that I feel that is true at all, but it's very
In the box.
in the box. This is what you do. You're a boy, you play sports. You're a girl, you can draw pretty pictures, sing pretty songs, and be good at school.
Yeah. Basically sit still.
Yeah, I think that has come back full circle and is what they're expected, and that's what they're taught at a very young age. Stay in the box. Stop going outside the box. So there are many. I frown upon what's going on in the schools, but there are many outside programs. You guys are doing phenomenal things to continue to make the arts going.
The snack campaigns. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Real quick, if I can throw that in there.
Please.
So actually, a boy. It was the brother of a birthday girl. We had the basic picture we were doing on this last night. It was Coco, and her brother asked if I'd yell because he wanted to do mac and cheese, and then I ended up doing mac and cheese too because I love that. I love the ideas and the difference with my snack and paints and sip and paints. Those are a lot harder to get outside the box, but I try still. But I like it to be very open and create what you want. Make it. That's what it should be.
So you do the sip and paint. So I have gone to a couple of those, and I'm going to be honest. There's a couple things actually they're not hanging up in this room. And I walked in the studio and was like, are you one that lets me use a stencil, or do I have to freehand? And if I have to freehand, I'm terrified. I don't even want to do it.
Yeah. It can be intimidating.
It's very intimidating, but now so many of them become a stencil that I'm like, I feel I want the stencil, don't get me wrong, because then it's pretty and I want to hang it in my house.
Yeah.
But with the stencil, all of ours look the same.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same. They're cookie cutter. So where do you place that as art? Is it art still?
I think it's art.
Is it still?
I do. I think
It just takes the creativeness out of it.
I do love the pictures of paint and sip parties where you see everybody holding their stuff,
At the
and there's
end.
somebody who's totally not the same thing at all. I love that.
I did this llama one, this birthday party, and the dad painted too, and he made his a gangster llama. With
I love it.
Glasses, so I put some glasses on mine. It's just the ideas.
Yeah.
I love it. I can go on and on. I leave after the parties with a high.
Because you know that you are changing their minds. You're allowing them to be them. And that's what it is. I mean, I still tell my children, you can be anything when you're older. I want you to be what makes you happy. And when they get those art, they can choose whatever color they want. If they want their llama to be purple, their llama to be purple. So I work with 31 Gifts, and we have personalization. And my daughter has a cinch bag, and she has a llama on it. That's why and it's orange. It's an orange llama with purple ears, and she loves it. And when she first wanted to do it, I was like, that's not going to look great. She goes, I don't care. I want an orange llama. And then I was like, I need to appreciate that. Like,
Yeah.
she wants her llama to be orange, and let her llama to be
Yes,
orange. So,
because she can.
and there's so many things in this world that you're told you can't. You can't do this. It has to be done like this. It has to be, this is the way.
Yes.
And
That's actually interesting, if you don't mind me saying with what you just said, trauma too, when it comes to art and trauma, with the trauma aspect, that was completely out of your control. You
Yes.
could not, and then if you, with art therapy, they'll take the art and you can put it, even if it's painting a picture of a visual of, you know,
but it's something you have
that
control
you
of.
have control of to make it how you want. So you can make vision something a little bit less scary, even, you know, make your mind acceptance. So it's crazy, just the connection. It's just
Yeah.
having control and not having control.
I agree. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please make sure I'm watching the comments. There's been a couple comments that have come through, but no like questions. But let us know kind of where you sit in this topic and what you feel is appropriate for the schools to be implementing. Why do we need to engage in paid programs even after school? Or my daughter goes to an art class after school. I don't feel I should have to do that, but because the school took it away, we need to. So if your kids are part of something, extracurricular activities of, you know, a lot of people are in piano and extra to bring in the arts, please share them so we can kind of talk a little bit about that. But
Or if you have a school that has cut art, I'd
Yeah.
like to hear their opinions. How are your kids? Have you made it a priority to get art? for your
to get
kids?
it
I
involved in
think
them.
if you're an adult that does not really understand the importance of art, it's really easy to overlook it for your child. And once you're an adult and you don't have that in you, it's a lot harder to get it versus getting them instilled in your
I
child.
can tell you I would have overlooked it if it wasn't for that time where I felt us all brought
It's
together.
understandable.
And that was out of our control. I mean, I'm not thankful that she ended up in the hospital, but that picture
Everything happens for a reason.
had me change the entire path of my daughter's life. It made me understand. I don't want to say I knew that there was something off with Olivia that I couldn't understand. And the schools were saying, you know, maybe she's just doesn't like school, or maybe it answered so many questions and and now when I see her, she lights up when she can draw a picture or create something, or she improvs. Her big thing now is improv theater. And she can just go, and it's a totally different child because you're right, she has control of that. Unfortunately, we've gone through a lot of things that we do not have control of, and things that I think a child should never have to experience. But in art, she can be whoever she wants to be. She can be that orange llama with those purple ears every day, and it's okay.
Yeah, when I was a child, like I mentioned a little bit earlier before you guys, I had a rough childhood. So whenever I was a child and I would go, I've been very attached to art from a young age. So it was a therapy in a sense of I could draw me and my mom in a certain way that I, that I wanted it to be. Yeah, and then just seeing a visual, it's just comforting, especially as a child that cannot process or put that stuff into words. Like
they're not able to put them in words.
Have to.
Yeah,
because their minds are not. Oh, it's so awful.
Yeah.
The kids have their minds.
And even in normal counseling sessions, I can't even tell you how many times my little guy has come and he's drawing family, and he's drawing houses, and I've asked him, you know, what does this mean? And he'll describe it, and I'll go, I never even thought of it like that. But it's what he visualizes. I, as an adult, see something or him processing something as one way, but he doesn't know the words to say. He doesn't know how to explain it or understand it even. But when he can put it on paper and explain it his way, it's a totally different outlook. So you were telling us a little bit about a project you're working on, kind of where you see your art studio going and where your vision goes and why. Can you share a little bit of that?
Yeah. So my studio right now, I mainly do birthday parties and a little bit of open studio when I can get foot traffic.
Yeah.
And I also my original location I moved because the roof, and my new location in Barton, like I mentioned, I'm going through the mentor program, and with that I want to start a nonprofit to get art in jails, and I want to make sure that kids that don't have the parents that either one, they neglect the children in that sense, you know, with the epidemics we're going through in Ohio,
Yeah,
with drugs and stuff. And you know, like we had talked about 12 to 18, how they're kind of getting set aside with the epidemic of like the drugs.
They are.
and
They're
stuff.
stepping in more and taking the babies need help, and the 2s and the 3 and the younger children. But then you do have this older generation that are old enough to understand what's going on, but they're kind of like,
they're not as resilient as that
No.
infant to, you know. And I know from experience because as a child with my mother, up until about 12. She was God to me. There was nothing she could do wrong, even though she was an awful mother on the outside of it. But then when I hit like 12, reality was setting in because I was understanding. So really, that's the age that these kids need the art the most.
Yeah.
And I think they have to filter through. And I think for me, holding on to art, I always have like journals or something.
yes,
Yeah.
And we have to bring that in. Journaling, and when we talk about the arts, we are covering everything from being on stage and acting and backdrops and all of that visual stuff, all the way to journaling and writing. Like, it's very therapeutic to just, you do not want to make me mad and see what I'm sitting there writing, because that's how I'm getting my emotions out.
Exactly.
I don't mail those letters, but
Exactly. I think because of
it's very
art,
important.
I was able to hang on to, you know, what I wanted to be as a person, not get sucked into what I was being taught. You know,
Yeah.
I think I credit so much to that.
So your vision, and we were talking a little bit about this, is to hopefully bring children and their parents who are incarcerated together during the visitations and stuff, create an art piece similar to what our family did. And I still have that art piece.
Yes, because I want to bring specifically the kids and the inmates, the parents, together to create the art and have the parents keep the children's art, or even a collaborative art together. Or have the kids keep the parents. You need a why to keep connected. Like for me, my kids are 9 and 7, so I have my son young. So I found my why very young to like just full force with it. You know, you need that in jail. You have to have a why. Because I can only imagine sitting in there just thinking about your mistakes and trying to get clean. You know, if I know if I have something in my face reminding me of my children, I'm gonna push a lot harder.
It's gonna give you, and it's a motivational thing as well as the healing.
And exactly, the connecting. Yes, yeah. I think the drug epidemic, those people, they are trying to self-medicate in a way, and it's gone too far for them. And they need compassion, and they need something to connect in your why. And these kids need parents too.
So what would these are all amazing programs. That sounds like something that I see a lot of hoops needing jumped through. But I hope that we can get you in contact with people that will understand the importance of it, because it is very therapeutic and it is very rewarding on both sides of that. So both of you run studios and art classes and, you know, a little of all that. What can you advise parents who maybe don't have money to pay for some extra art but really want to bring this to their child's life and have this on the forefront? Is there things that they can do?
Absolutely. So, like, things that just pop into my head right away is, like, go to the dollar store and buy art supplies, or if you can afford better than that, go for it. But dollar store works great, and not just giving them to kids, but actually, you know, engaging and
With them.
letting your inner child out to play with art supplies with your child, and just seeing where that all goes. I find there are tons of great resources on places like YouTube that, you know, if you're not sure what to do, how to draw a horse, there are great tutorials there, and a lot of different opportunities like that. The library is a great free resource with tons of books, whether you're looking for art history for kids or how to draw whatever, like your favorite cartoon character. Those kinds of things are available there, and that's like my very first thought off the top of my head.
Yeah.
A great way that without spending a lot of money, you can really invest in your kids and their art understanding. Take them to museums, take them to art galleries. The Cleveland Art Museum is free. You pay for parking, and that's the only thing you have to pay for there. And it's a world-renowned collection of art.
And seeing all of those artists and all of those hands-on, yes, it's phenomenal.
Something I think is a really good investment too is a chalkboard wall. It's like $15, like a half or a
Oh, the gallons! To actually put it right on
I do with my kids a lot is, which this doesn't, you don't even need anything, is try to find faces in different things. Like look up like, I don't see anything in your house right off the top of my head. Okay, right over there. See the lights, the eyes, and then.
Oh, yes.
So like we'll
So just the
look
creative
around
of finding
the clouds.
things.
Yeah, the creativity of finding things and things that are not supposed to be that. You know, stuff like that. And then my studio, I have I do an open studio thing. So I have a chalkboard wall. I have I call it a Let Go board. It's like a lemon board. Use water, and I beading, oil pastels, and you can just come anytime I'm open. The kids can come and do all that stuff for free.
That's
so
awesome.
that's another way. You just come to the on a test.
There are so many. I know I've never, I don't think, been to the Cleveland Art, but I've been to Akron, and I know on Thursdays you can go for free. And they have all of the paintings and the normal art, but then upstairs on the floor, they have a lot of hands-on, building the magnet statues with the pieces, and there's so much hands-on. And I think that kind of gets pulled out of art, like the building, the Legos, the developing. That is a form of art. It's a therapeutic form of art.
Architecture, that's art.
Yeah.
My son and I with his Minecraft, and I'm like, that's technically art. Like you're doing art.
And I think that kind of gets, set in a different category.
Art is literally everything.
Anything you're making, like anything you're making or doing is art.
And we've taught our kids, they're on these technology devices so much, and they're playing games, and they're watching videos, and they're texting, and they're social media, whatever you want to come on. We've lost a lot of that aspect of going outside, playing in the mud. That's still hands-on. That's art. Building stuff. I used to, in the winter, I used to think I won't have to go outside that much. Then my dad was like, no, go build an igloo. And he would give me a shovel, and I would build these big mountains, and I would dig my way in, and then it would melt, and I'd have to redo it on the inside. But that was his form of getting me outside. But I was problem solving. How do I dig this? What tools do I use?
But you didn't know you were.
I had no idea I was. And I can tell you, those problem solving tips and those me being on my own, thinking, grabbing the stick, grabbing a shovel, there was one time I used a Dixie cup to get stuff what I wanted. That was when I was making tacos. I used to have a taco bar out of mud and berries from a tree. I was grabbing anything and developing that. And that has helped me in my life these days. Because now, as a mom, there's always those issues of something coming up, and you're like, what can I grab to fix this? What can I do? How can I? Those were things I carried forever.
You know what really helped me, the creative side, is when, before I'm married now, but my husband is not the father of my children. So a little time period when it was just me and my kids, I was so broke. And being creative, I was able to, I feel like, just do so much more with the kids and stuff, just from not having to think outside the box. So it was very beneficial to have that creative street party in me in those times.
Yeah. No, that's very important. That's very important. So, anything else? I want to kind of share. I love how you share the statistic of mentally it's been proven. Is there anything else that really just stands out that is grounded in information? Because as people can say, this is opinion. They learn more in math class. They learn more.
Children perform better in math because of music, and there is massive amounts of research about that. If you just Google arts education or the value of arts education, you can see research study after research study that supports that.
I didn't know that. Would it be listening to music, or is it playing an instrument?
It could be
It's
both.
Absolutely. Well, and I actually, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it, we had somebody send a comment, and I probably will not be able to locate it now, about how for years they've said if you play an instrument, you're smarter. You actually will score higher on tests. You'll development.
I had a babysitter that did the violin, piano, probably other things. She's like mom now.
Yeah, it's got something to do with stimulating the brain in different ways and development. And I can tell you from firsthand, if Olivia is just very emotional, she's 12, so hormones are going and she's emotional every moment of the day. But sometimes I can control that by saying, sit down, play a song. I can pull her out sometimes because it does engage. It gets something going up there But I have heard countless times of them playing an instrument. And that's why they tell you, get your kids in piano early. Get them developing that early. So I do think that music seems to be appreciated and take more credit for healing, but I don't think that it needs to. I think the visual and the hands-on is just as powerful.
I think the visual though is more personal, so that's a one-on-one.
That is,
thing.
music's more of a connecting.
Yeah, so
Cool.
it's harder for like my healing from art. You can't really connect with that because that's my journey, So I think it is probably harder for people to take that more serious because you can't really, put anyone in the box. It all goes back to the box.
Yeah, it all goes back to the box. You can't really fit too many people in your box, and that's why you're supposed to think outside of the box.
Like through the box.
You can just have a really big box. I mean, a refrigerator box, not all that's to fit.
Yeah.
We were putting bunk beds together the other day, and we had 3 kids under the age of 4 in the box of the bunk bed with crayons coloring, and they were having a blast.
Yeah.
They tell you, stop buying toys. The kids only want the boxes.
Yes.
I think children come out wanting to create,
Yeah, they want
wanting to, and when they're babies, we give them bright colored things. We give them things that blink. We give them things that blink patterns and music, and we're engaged in their brains. So why do we take that away when they enter school?
because they're supposed to be that cookie cutter now.
Yeah.
They're grow up.
Because I can even, there is a visual arts school locally, Miller South, and I went and walked through it last week, and the walls are like yellow to green to so colorful and bright in there, and that was the first thing I noticed. And you walk into public schools, the walls are cream.
Yeah, that was another idea of mine with the nonprofit stuff, is to go in and brighten the schools up. Have you ever seen the lockers painted like books? Like the
No.
so cute, yeah. So
But things like that, our baby, we're taught right from an age, give them colors, give them brightness, engage, build their brain. But you're right, as soon as they hit school, it's like we put them in a box, straight in a box. So awesome. We've gone over quite a bit today, and so I'm going to wrap this up. Please continue. We're going to keep having this conversation. I invite them to, maybe if there's an article that sprouted your interest and thoughts while we were going over some of this, feel free to post it on the page. We'll continue this conversation for the week and just how important the arts in general are to the human mind, and developing from a baby to continuing to heal and process therapy and all of that. So I thank you guys so much for sharing your story. I was excited to hear it and learn it, and we will continue to follow your journey. We will also tag your studio, so hopefully people that can use that, and you said you have a personal studio, right? So hopefully we'll get some classes started there or whatnot. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Little different of a setup, but everybody seemed to say that it went well. So join us next week. What is next week? I can't even remember what our topic is. Oh, actually, our show will be moved to Monday night next week. So it's a little bit different of a show. Monday is actually my birthday. That's not why we have the show. But a Thursday night you can do. So we will be on a different night next week. And I have all of that will be posted and everything for you guys. And I cannot even recall our topic currently, but tune in, make sure when you rewatch this you are liking it so that you will then get some of the articles and some of the other information that we share. So thanks so much for being here tonight, guys. Any closing or anything you'd like to share?
Take a risk and be creative.
And I think that's important.
It is important. Definitely take a risk, because I heard a quote one time, you will never know if you can fly if you don't jump. You just gotta take a risk.
That's very true. And I have said it almost every show. Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Yes.
So if you're not willing to take that risk and make your llama orange, then you'll never know what that will do. So thanks so much for being here tonight. I'm going to turn this off today. This Sip of Solidarity podcast is a copyright of the 330 To Go Media Network. Thank you for tuning in. This is harder than you think to do from the side. No.